so sick.
Whatever, I just saw the harmony.
How's it going, everyone? I'm Rabir.
I'm Gil.
And welcome to Andertons TV. Today we're actually going to be looking at something really quite awesome that I've just been informed of, and it sounds incredible. This is the GTC Revpad. And I'm going to hold my hands up and say I don't know much about this particular product, so I'm hoping that Gil here is going to tell us exactly what it does and how it works.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah, with any luck.
Oh, well, I can talk hours about this, but I'll try to be brief. Okay, so basic idea is that it comes with this bass unit, you see here, and this
like
thing here.
A special controller.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about this in a moment. Let's talk a little bit about the bass unit. It has all the effects in it, like all the things you would have expected to have, and then some. Okay. Because thanks to this thing here, we came up with some new stuff and new ideas. So get some cool stuff here. I'll show you guys later. But the basic idea is that you can have in each preset up to 8 effects and assign any of those effects and their parameters to the XY pad here. Okay. So you can imagine how crazy you can.
Well, I suppose you could assign like decay times and feedback times of delays and things too.
Exactly.
I like that it's a very literally named thing, this XY pad, obviously for your X and Y axis, which is cool because, well, I guess it doesn't matter which way you move your finger, it's going to do something, right?
Exactly. So you can just, for example, you can take if you want to play distortion and clean, right? You want to switch between those two. Most of the time in the studio, you're probably going to use crossfade to switch between those two. And on stage, it's
channel switching, normally, isn't it?
It's kind of harder. So if you can, you just put you assign the gain parameter, for instance, here on the X.
That is seamless. That is like your own crossfade at your fingertip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is just one parameter.
Yeah.
Think about it. Every effect has at least 4.
Well, yeah.
3 parameters at least.
And gain, and level, and modulation, all the rest of it.
Exactly. So you can have like dozens of those on the same axis, and you can. So you can assign more than one parameter to the same axis. Yeah, sure. Right. Okay. It sums up to 8 effects and all of their parameters. Never was good in math. So.
Jeez. Neither am I.
All right. So let's just skip it.
An amount. Yeah.
And it's super easy. And the thing is that you can there's no. It's a very simple mounting. It's just those two.
Couple of sticky Velcro pads.
Yeah. You put on your guitar, you can put it wherever you want.
See, I very stylishly added one to Lee's special master built Strat. Don't kill me, Lee.
Yeah,
but yeah,
sorry about that.
I like the low profile of it as well, and it's right. I suppose this is an ideal place to put it on the guitar as well, because it means where you would normally rest your little finger if you're doing, you could literally just slap it on there and be adjusting stuff at the same time, right?
Right. It feels natural here, but but actually cool thing is that you can put it, as I said, everywhere on the guitar, and this one goes really great with bass. We're gonna maybe talk a little about later, but I have a bass player back at home. He puts it here, and he does with some really cool stuff with slapping,
with his thumb as well,
and with dive bombs and pitch stuff, and so you can go like like really cool stuff.
It's kind of bridging that gap between, like the Matt Bellamy Manson guitar, which had the Chaos pad here, or of course I've seen, other guitars where they have like a little mini Chaos pad in them and stuff, and it's that kind of concept, isn't it? But it's way more in depth than those products, I suppose.
Yes, I think the main goal here was that, as you said, there are so many great stuff out there, but we figured that you either have to buy another guitar, you have to buy, I don't know, it's just what if I could use my own guitar? And actually, we're gonna talk about it later also. You can use your own effects also and integrate them into the Revpad's effects loop.
Right.
And it also has a MIDI port, so you can control all your MIDI devices right from your guitar.
And you could assign the blends of those effects into the...
Of course.
Right.
Yeah. And you can crossfade between those and do different mixing and different
Wow.
routings and change all of it on the fly.
So this controller is essentially like, I suppose you'd hook it up in your rig like your standard effects pedal, in the sense that it goes into, so in and out in front of your amp. So all the effects inside there are affecting the front of the amp. So you want to be on a clean channel on your amplifier. But then obviously with your antenna that you've screwed in, that talks to the wireless pad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, with your A, B, C, and D, these are, I suppose, your 4 presets per bank, right? And
you can use these. But actually, to be honest, it's kind of a bridge between doing this
because you can use
and what we were used to. Because basically, I don't need these in any way. It's just if I want to do some combination of switching stuff with my, I'm not sure if you guys can see it. There are 3 knobs here on the pad itself, 3 buttons, and I can use them to switch to, between. Presets. I can go to tap tempo, so I can tap tempo on my pad.
Literally tap tempo.
Yeah, and some MIDI functions and a whole bunch of stuff. We got the favorite mode. I'm gonna talk about it. And so basically, if you see here, I press the up button here,
and you just scroll through presets.
Scroll through my presets, right?
Brilliant. And how many banks do you have?
Well, it goes to 50, and you have like
4 on each.
Yeah, more than enough.
Well, that's more than enough.
So this is the basic idea. I mean, and from this point,
it's gonna get all crazy kinds of
you know what the thing is? The beauty of it, to my opinion, is that you can go really crazy with that and do some wacky sounds. I'm gonna show you guys in a moment, and you can do some simple, old school kind of playing. You know, just. Again, with the drive and a little bit delay. I mean, how many times do you find yourself bending down,
just tweaking the tiniest thing?
You know, you need a little more gain or a little less gain or a little more delay or whatever.
Yeah.
And now everything is here. I mean, you have a controller.
And one thing you did point out to me, which is really quite awesome, is that the distortion overdrive circuits inside the pedal are analog.
Right.
Correct?
They're pure analog.
Brilliant.
All the rest of the effects are digital and very clever and high-end algorithms.
Yep.
But
you didn't want to compromise on analog tone. That's great.
There are some great units these days that they do some digital stuff, and it sounds great and awesome. But I don't know, we're kind of old-fashioned about that.
I like that you've bridged the gap there inside the same product. I suppose it's all within the same unit, so that's really cool. That's a big plus for me, at least. You know, analog drives. I like that. And again, you can control the amount on the pad as well.
Right.
So you just blend it in and out.
And you know what? As I said before, you have the effects loop here. So let's say you probably have your own favorite distortion pedal or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't want to... You won't let it go just because I gave you an option to do crossfade, right?
Yeah.
No matter how much good it is.
It will take a lot.
Yeah, it will take a lot. So... I don't want anybody to tell me to, get rid of that. I'm gonna give you the best thing now. No. Yeah, we've all heard that before. So you can integrate your own pedal, for instance, your whole pedal board actually. But
I'm straight into the loop on this. Can you imagine?
We did it back in NAMM when in our last presentation we provided a whole pedal board which has also a looper that is MIDI controlled. So
right.
And we have our Strymons and everything in it, and you can have your all your
gear
I have
a big pedal board as
controlled right from your guitar wherever you are on stage. So it's not just playing the wah wherever you are; it's controlling everything. And with MIDI functions, you can do some super crazy stuff.
I think my first impressions is that it's quite an exciting tool because, for example, when you're a songwriter or you're in a band that do a lot of outside of just distorted guitars, bass and drums,
Right.
and wanting to bring in other soundscapes and samples and synths and all that kind of stuff, then that's, again, it's bridging the gap between those two different areas. I have a few friends in bands that do that. You know, they have to run over to the sampler and quickly do some stuff and turn the guitar volume off, whereas you could legitimately be able to do similar kind of effects just using this and having it straight on your little touchpad onto your guitar.
If you already mentioned those kind of more not classic guitar sounds, you know, let me show you guys a few examples.
Yeah, go for it.
The beauty of it is, again, there's no regeneration of the signal, there's no synthesis, there's no anything.
That's great. That you're speaking my language
sound.
now. I'm all about the ambient swells and beautiful
so I got some really cool
soundscapes.
stuff for you. This
Yes.
is just the beginning.
That was great.
Just a simple, clean pad. And I'm just using here what we call our super dynamic kill switch.
Okay.
Because you can use it in a whole different ways.
So you've assigned sort of a kill switch to the touchpad on top of like a swell, volume swell. So when you press it, the signal starts and then it swells.
Right. And I can
Brilliant.
And I can very easily, if I just go here to the kill switch, I have the fade in time and fade out time. So I can I can, you know, do different swell vibes. So
It seems, yeah,
very
it's
easy.
a straightforward sort of display going on there. Hopefully
Yeah,
you can
very
see on
easy.
the close-up cam.
Our motto in the company that obviously it has a manual, but if it needs a manual, then it sucks.
Yeah.
You know, so
You just had to.
nobody likes to read manuals. Well, nobody I know.
I can't remember the last time I read a manual.
Exactly.
No, can you?
No.
No. See, there you go.
This is why. This is my job. I'm in charge of
Preventing people from
preventing
reading
people
manuals.
from reading manuals. Yeah,
Awesome.
it's a very important job.
So in terms of your sort of customization screens, this is the sort of...
Yeah, I can give you a short explanation of how it works. Every effect has a mix and a T-mix for his first two parameters.
Okay.
The mix stands for the mix of the effect.
Yep.
But while you're off the pad.
Yes.
And the T-mix stands for touch mix.
Okay, so when you're
Obviously,
touching
when
it,
you touch the pad, you can use a different mix. And this is the basic idea of any effect.
Okay.
And then each effect has its own
Specific
yeah. So if we go to reverb, for instance, again we have the mix, which is set to 100, and so it doesn't matter if I'm off the pad or on the pad.
It's always on, yeah.
Yeah. And the type, which I can choose between different types.
Lush.
Lush. It is kind of lush.
It is quite lush, yeah.
Right. And
then the
size, and you go to the next page. You got the tone, shimmer. If
I
you
like
want it on or
schmicks.
off. Schmicks.
What's schmicks?
It's the shimmer mix.
The shimmer mix. It's a new parameter
Of course.
that I'm perfectly enjoy the name schmicks.
Well, when you have 5 segments to put a
It's
long
brilliant.
word, you find yourself doing some
I enjoy
word
schmicks.
acrobatics.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how it works for any other effect. If I wanna add another effect, I just go to the next block.
Yep.
I got my arrows here, and I just scroll the wheel.
Sweet. So you can see all the different.
If I see a chorus or a flanger or whatever, and then I dive into this specific effect. Again, I got the mix, T-mix,
Right. Okay.
speed,
Yep.
width, feedback, wave shape, and a whole bunch of types, and the level, and that's it.
So
I
suppose in
That's
terms of
really-
customizability, it's fairly
Really easy.
straightforward. Yeah.
Really easy.
Yeah.
And this is the basic idea.
Awesome. And then you've got the 3 buttons there to save your presets, and then I'm assuming this is like your system globals.
Right. Here I have my
Yeah.
system.
Yeah.
Devise it, and let's go to the more sexy stuff.
Okay. Schmexy.
Schmaxy stuff.
Pad splits. Okay.
So I can split the pad. You know what? Let's maybe. I'll give later an example of how it sounds. But if you remember this arpeggio thing I did before.
Yeah,
so we have this easy arp, what we call it the easy arp. So you can divide the pad up to 3 different zones and have 3 different intervals.
Okay.
You can have like a major and a minor and diminished, or any other mode or whatever. or if you use the tapping thing which you saw before. So again, if you want some 3 different intervals, you can divide the pad.
Interesting.
And here is actually, you can divide it up to 6 segments or 4 or 2, and to have in each segment your favorite preset.
Right.
So you can jump from presets, not with
just by pressing
by pressing here
the different areas, and I suppose it just splits it up in a grid system sort of way. Yeah.
So you can, if you have like a gig and you know all your presets, and you don't want to change for each gig to change the location of those presets, you just put it in the favorite mode. You have a couple of sets, so you can have like way over than what you usually use in
and just control it all
gig
from this.
Yeah,
and again, this doesn't necessarily have to be strapped to the guitar. You could put this on the side of your amplifier or something, couldn't you? If you wanted to just quickly tap stuff, or you could have it, I guess, on your guitar strap maybe. Or...
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine actually. We did a rehearsal, and he was sitting on a sofa with
just messing
this
with it while you were
control,
playing. Yeah.
Trying to play the wah for me.
Trolling from afar.
Yeah, it was. It was interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure. I mean, and you know what? Another thing, you can have like, there's no limit of the number of pads that can communicate with the same bass unit.
Right.
So if you got like 4 guitars you want to use on stage,
and you have one on each one, for example.
Yeah, you just, or if you can have all the 4 pads on the same guitar.
Wow.
For like different stuff that you do, like this guy I told you with the slapping thing, or this guy, we got another guy, he puts it here.
So it's expandable then. Obviously,
it is.
Each unit you can expand to as many pads as you want.
I just want to be clear, they will all do the same, they will perform the same, or the whole 4 of them. It's not, because again, the brain is here.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
But you can do some really cool stuff with acoustic guitars, for instance.
Right.
There's this guy, he tried it with acoustic, and he plays all this, this tapping thing with acoustics, But
then throws in a little bit of wizardry with his touchpad.
And with the MIDI thing, he controls his DAW, and he has those drum loops and everything.
Oh, wow.
So he goes like, he plays some really nice stuff, and then he hits the pad and he triggers a loop in his computer.
So it isn't just contained to this particular system. You can go outside of that. You can control MIDI stuff, MIDI clocks, or MIDI launch pads, all that kind of stuff. That's amazing.
It's basically a wireless controller for all your audio environment.
Fair play.
You can put it this way. So yeah, you got some more stuff here. You can the buttons assigned. You can, as I said before, you can see here. You got switch 1. It engages the freeze mode, which I'll show you in a moment. Switch 2 will do up, down.
So you can assign the switches to do a specific task.
You can customize them in any way you want.
Right.
And you have also combinations of
being able to control it from the pad.
Two buttons. So you have another option. So you see, switch 1 and 2 will take you to favorite mode. Switch 1 and 3 will take you to MIDI.
So it's levels upon levels of customizability.
Exactly.
Unprecedented customizability.
You see, if I go here and press these 2, I go to different modes. If I go here, different mode. If I go here, I got my tap tempo. So I can change my tempo when I tap.
I love the fact it's literally a tap tempo.
You can also use this for tempo, to tap tempo, but...
Well, that's more legit, right? Yeah. Well, I reckon we should get into some cool sounds at this point.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea.
I need to be wowzered by the incredible sounds of this thing. To be fair, when we were jamming earlier, there were some really, really awesome sounds, so I want to hear those again.
Okay, so let's start with something that is not that wacky, but still very nice. This is what we call the virtual whammy bar, because you have a vibrato here.
Okay.
And when I assign it this way, that you see the mix is on 0, the touch mix is on 100. And
so when you touch, that's when the effect happens.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
So I can go and have a Floyd Rose, right? really.
I mean, that was uncanny when you went between doing it for real and then doing
yeah,
that.
it sounds
I was like,
pretty
what?
much the same.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
I'm so easily impressed, but that is genuinely cool. I
and
like
just so you guys see how easy it is, I can, if I go to the tempo parameter and I press here the XY button,
that. Yep.
now it's assigned to the X axis, and now you'll just. Now if I'll go.
So touch sensitive to
really,
speed.
really fast. So now I'm going to work with from
200.
0 to 250. So in this exact, if I press, by the way, if I press the XY button again,
Yep.
I'll flip the axis. So now the
Goes
slow
the other
one
way now, yeah.
and the speed.
So
If I
whichever way
press it-
feels good for you, kind of thing.
Actually,
Yeah.
I like it the way before.
Yeah, yeah.
For instance, it's a good question because when I use the gain thing to increase or decrease gain, it's really weird for me if I go this way and decrease it, you know. So
Yeah.
it is. And if I press it once more, it's going to be on the Y-axis.
Okay.
And again, if I press it once more, it flips the Y-axis. So now
Right.
it's backwards. And if I press it once more, it's unassigned. So now it doesn't matter where I.
That's brilliant. So when you're selected to a specific parameter, when you start using the XY button, that's what assigns
Exactly.
which way you're swiping up, down, left, right.
Exactly.
Ah, that's intuitive.
It's
I
so
like that.
easy. So
Yeah.
now you can assign the T-mix also and the tempo.
Yep.
And the width to the Y-axis, for instance, and the wave
Brilliant.
to the, and you can go really.
So
Crazy.
you can
And this is
literally
just one
have
effect, you know.
all four axis, like left, right, up and down, doing all different things. So when you get a bit swiddly on it, it's going to do crazy stuff. I like
Right.
that. Swiddly is a new word.
Swiddly.
Yeah. Awesome.
So I'll just go through some
Yeah,
presets and
Totally, man.
we'll see how it goes.
I'm digging it.
I can use the kill switch, the dynamic kill switch, to do those swell kind of sounds, and so I can go. And I have a pitch also here, so I'm blending it in to get this kind of a feedback vibe. Let me try.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. Oh, that's
So-
mega useful. So far, that preset in particular is very useful if you're a lead player and you're doing that big atmospheric, moment and stuff like that. I'd find that really useful. That sound.
Yeah, and
That's
and
great.
If we go here,
Oh.
this is a little more modern sound, if you will. I'm using a kill switch here with pitch in 50% mix, as you can see here. 55. Oh, yeah, somebody's accurate. So I can go like, and the famous riff.
That's wicked. That's very
It was
close
perfect
as well.
timing right there.
That sounds great. That's pretty much the exact sound. We needed that for Sound Like. Why didn't we have that? Why didn't we have this when we did Sound Like Tom Morello, man?
Well,
You don't have to answer that. We'll have it next time.
yeah. Oh, you got some really
CLX
more
YX.
kind of ambient sounds. You were talking about those
I'm
ambient
all about
sounds.
the ambiance.
Oh,
yeah.
so I hope you're gonna dig this one.
Do you know what?
I
felt
take the
like
slicer off.
I felt like I was on the beach in Ibiza. Had the waves crashing over me and the trance music in the background.
great thing about it is that it's the sound of your guitar.
I know.
There's no nothing. You see, there's only this effect that we call harmony, which brings some harmonies, obviously.
Yep. And a bit
reverb,
of reverb.
And a slicer. And
Brilliant.
Actually not a bit of a reverb, a lot of reverb.
Yeah. But it is your, like you say, it's your pickups, your guitar. We're not doing anything that's going to start masking the tones of the guitar. So it would be, I suppose each effect is then going to sound different depending on the guitar you use.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is really cool. I was about to get expressive there.
Yeah. You got some, if you use the kill switch with delay, you can do some.
Very cool.
Weird stuff like that. Some fuzz, you got, oh, that's nice. We got also a fuzz, obviously, and you can do some dive bombs. So
that's brilliant.
Again, you go to the bomb, we call it bomb, and you can change the speed of, if you want it like really slow.
Oh, that's so
and
cool.
You see, it's back to the original pitch. But if I go like this, you can add some delays and stuff, so you can.
Brilliant. To be fair, that's this is a studio tool for me as well as live. But you could do so much cool stuff in the studio with this.
I really agree, because actually when you hear these kind of sounds in the musical context, it really, I mean, stuff like that, just kill switch.
Well, you just
with
don't
a
normally
filter.
hear it, do you?
Yeah. In a musical context, these sounds, they have like real.
Something else I quite enjoy is the fact that there is, obviously you can use it. You've obviously developed a certain way of playing as well to really get the most out of it, which is cool, because it's not just a case of get the product, slap it on, and just carry on going about your day. You actually have to incorporate it into the way you play as well, if you want to use it to its full extent, which I think is great, because it means that the parts that you come up with and the sounds that you're getting are going to be more unique and specific to the song that you're writing or whatever, as opposed to it just being a cool effect that you just put in the loop and get on with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I like that.
Sure.
I like that.
Sure. I mean, this preset is a good example for this kind of maybe inspiring stuff that you can come up with. Just simple stuff, but you know.
That
using
is
a filter.
so good.
So you know, if you just have this groove or whatever.
It's got a great tone as well. You know, the sound of the what we on fuzz, a bit of distortion. Yep. It's a great sound though as well. Again, like you said, using your guitar, your pickups, going into your amplifier. But wicked.
And it's real because of the analog circuits and everything. So it feels, when you played it, you felt it
feels nice, natural.
It's organic and it's really responsive, and
man.
And it's so simple, you know. It's just fuzz, delay, filter, and slicer for this pattern.
And you can choose up to 8 different things, can't you? On each
and
each
this is
patch.
just 4 effects. You have another page for more effects.
So you could add delay, reverb, bloody or whatever else, you know, modulation,
whatever.
Cray.
So you guys can use some octaves with the fuzz.
Nice.
Stuff like that. And of course the arpeggios, which are the perfect cheat.
Yes, they are.
So it's
Oh, that's amazing. Who needs Dragon Force, eh? Who needs Dragon Force when you could have the GTC?
I'm done with practicing. I never was too good at it anyway. So this is the whole reason I'm in this project actually.
Oh, it's really
so I can
cool.
play really fast and just
Really fast with
No,
minimal effort.
yeah. Different scales.
So you can change the arpeggios.
Yeah,
You can change
all different arpeggios. You have here the tempo, of course. You can, if I assign it to
you
the
want
x-axis.
uber
But if I go on 16th notes, okay.
Let's get up to Petrucci levels.
Yeah,
Let's.
and 300 should do tempo-wise.
Oh, we're in the Ingve tone.
Okay, that's a little bit stupid, but but it is kind of, if you incorporate it with your own, I mean, let's try to be it for a second here.
That was amazing.
So you can, I mean, there are some guys out there, they're ripping, they're great.
That was amazing. There, every
awesome.
time someone swears in a video, we'll just use that specific soundbite.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest honors I've ever had, I think.
We'll try it out now. Yeah. I'm gonna. Do you know what? I'm gonna have a little sift through what I can do with this. This is we've got a second one set up on the ground here, and I'm gonna go ahead and see what I can do. Let's see what this one does. You have to get used to it.
By the way, it works for, it's polyphonic, so you can have a whole
chord.
chord and...
I feel like I'm in an old Sega Mega Drive game. Wow. Pitch bender. Wow. I like this.
Again, you can scroll between patches here from the pad itself.
I don't even have to touch the ground.
Right.
Touch and swell.
Touch the swell. Oh, this is like swell. Just simple swell. I don't know, play chord and...
Okay, I want to get like... What's this one do?
That's
Kill switch with wow.
Wow filter. You see here, there's an indication here. You see there's a Y LED.
Oh,
on.
yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
know it's...
Why is this way?
Yeah.
Awesome. I like the fact that I have no idea what any of these presets do until I get to them.
Yeah.
And then I discover something new. Right, here we go.
Oh, that's just kill switch with delay, and the
Okay.
delay is after the kill switch, so you have the tail
Right,
of the
okay.
delay after the signal is off.
Touch vibe.
I used before to play
Oh, but you
the
customized it.
vibrato thing.
Tap to fourth. It's the worst tune in the world.
Yeah, and you can do some double taps also.
Hours of fun. I have only been playing this for 20 minutes, not even that, and I'm already loving it. I need one of these.
So a very cool feature here is the freeze mode.
Oh yeah?
Which is activated. You can change it, but in the default settings, it's activated here. So So it freezes the last point you had your finger on.
Okay.
So when using the wah, it's really
Quite intense.
Yeah, because you know sometimes you want to get that certain
Half-cocked sound.
yeah, and you know you will never get it the same.
Yeah.
So you see, it just stays there unless.
I like the fact that you've totally integrated that into your playing. The way your hand is on the pad whilst you're doing the picking and stuff is because I suppose that's where your fingers would rest when you're picking fast, but you're just extra. Yeah, that's great.
It feels, to be honest, a couple of in the first 10 minutes I did when I first used it, it was a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Because you know we're so used to this.
Yeah.
But once you go, I mean, yeah, we were used to this also, you know.
Yep.
Hey, is anybody?
Yeah, true. Yeah,
okay.
very.
And now
point.
it's like, call whatever.
yeah.
Call Mr. Schmicks, you know.
Mr. Schmicks.
So,
yeah.
All right, let me choose. Oh, you know what? Let's.
Is there a people pleaser sound?
Oh,
we've got a people pleaser, have we? Buried deep within the pedal itself.
Hold and play.
Oh right. Okay.
This is what we call the hold. It's kind of a sustainer,
okay.
Actually. So you can go and play a chord. Now,
that is definitely a people pleaser patch. That is awesome.
You can
I get
sit
hours
around
of fun out of that, yeah. Well, Gilmore, totally.
And I'm using a parallel routing here.
Right.
So you hear when I play the lead, it's with overdrive.
Yeah,
but the pad is clean.
Brilliant. Yeah, because that's one thing with people that use loopers get often quite frustrated with is when you start looping a patch, then you change your tone, and then the whole thing's changed.
So now, it's
stunning.
not a problem.
Man, well there you go. That, yeah. To be fair, I'm trying to think of a good way to round off what I think about this thing, but
I'll tell you what, you're gonna end up going back home and go and tell yourself, well, you know what? I can use the wah and a whammy. Now I couldn't do this.
Yeah, at the
on
same
stage,
time,
right? And how easy it is. So I can do this. Oh, and there's MIDI also, so I can even. You know what? When I kick in the chorus, I want the blue lights to come in.
Oh man, and you can control your. Do you know? I'll get home and I'll be like, something in my life is missing, and I couldn't put my finger on what it is. Literally, what it is, but it's the Revpad.
I'm glad to hear
no,
that.
seriously though, thank you so much for coming in and showing us the Revpad.
My pleasure.
Hopefully, it comes across to you guys on the internet how quite versatile this thing is. It's actually incredible. But there is one question that I think everyone wants to know, and that is, what's the price point on this bad boy?
It's going for $949.
There you go. And for that, then you receive obviously the controller itself, and you get the pad, and literally hours, and in fact, not even hours, months of messing around finding incredible sounds to go with your songs and rig. I must admit, I'm very impressed. And I just want to say thank you for coming in and showing us.
It's my pleasure.
The
Thank you for having me.
Revpad. Awesome. Well, there you go. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and all the links and everything about the Revpad will be in the description box below. Please comment, like, subscribe, and share. And we will see you very soon.
Thank you.